Weep not, Abba Kyari, governor of Bauchi State, the son of Atiku, and Atiku himself. Buhari, that it is said that he might be positive, but they are telling us is negative. On Tuesday, the news broke that the chief of staff to the Nigerian president, Abba Kyari, tested positive for COVID-19. 3 of his aides reportedly also tested positive, and of course, they are going to share this all around F0R. Same Tuesday, it was announced that the Bauchi State Governor, Senator Bala Mohammed, also tested positive. Then there is the son of former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, whose test result was announced on Saturday. Given how many people close to them they might have huddled before diagnosis, we will never know how far wide they spread the virus. Of course, Buhari might be infected and they will never tell us. In fact, the Vice President himself is in self-isolation, and he hosts a lot of people, governors, they have self-isolated themselves. About a year ago, the Avengers Endgame was all the rage. A lot of people were watching Avengers. Looking at how hard seems to be making life, we can draw a parallel with the present time. The film villain, a genocidal warlord called Thanos, tried to rid the universe of half of its population. Today, the world faces a similar enemy in the guise of a virus called COVID-19. A lot of pastors are all over the place prophesying their supposed duration where they think the virus will leave the world. From Nigeria to virtually every country in the world, the pandemic ravages, and it is projected to infect a substantial part of the human population. This disease is dangerous, not just for the potency if it stings you. No, it is so dangerous that at the moment it has no cure. Even the papal, and I'm talking about the Pope, was rumored to have been infected, but later they came up to say he was not infected, but he showed signs of immunal weakness when it was seen coughing, and it was demonstrating symptoms of the same disease. So this virus does not respect your religion, your creed, your position, your religious views, your grace, your anointing, whatever people normally call it. But then this virus does not respect that. It might jump on you, but then that is not to say that there are people that are not covered. I mean, let's use the word spiritually covered, because we have to open up the gray area for such. We can never say we know it all. This disease is dangerous not just for the potency of if it stings, but because it's a leveler. From the powerful to the disempowered, the wise to the witless, all are imperiled by this invisible enemy. Who could have thought the day would come when rich and the poor countries of the world will be threatened by an equal opportunity killer that is not even a nuclear bomb? And who would have thought that a sick Nigerian elite would be trapped in their own country without a way to fly out? Our leaders probably thought themselves invincible, and that explains their initial attitude to the pandemic. They never knew that this pandemic would be all over the world and there's no hiding place. They never knew that there is no place to fly to like they normally do whenever they have headaches. This is a pandemic that shut everybody down to their own country. Even Donald Trump was tested to find out if he was infected, as he claimed that he came in contact with people that had the disease. Probably he never put his hand in his mouth, or immediately washed his hand, or there is a protection, probably hand sanitizer, that he made use of immediately. But they claim that he was not infected with the disease. Here is an example of the slack in their thinking. Earlier this month, members of the House of Representatives resolved to suspend plenary for 2 weeks to prevent the spread of COVID in National Assembly, without recourse to a scientific understanding of how the virus spread, so they could prepare a coherent containment plan for the nation they pretend to serve. They closed shop and went on holidays. Some 17 days later, according to the letter supposedly signed by Abba Kyari to the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, these same lawmakers have been arrogantly refusing to subject themselves to legitimate screenings at the airport. In summary, the lawmakers ran away from their duty post because of the fear of COVID-19, but they would not adhere to basic rules that could have protected the nation from the contagion their bodies might be harboring. In one sense, they did not see the irony of their different responses to the threat of the virus because they are simply lawless. They are simply wicked. They care less about the citizens, who they oftentimes refer to as the masses. It's only during elections that they want you out on the street so the world can see them practicing democracy, the so-called democracy that does not exist in their mind, in their thoughts, and in all actions. This virus is a leveler in that it has shown that there is no hiding place for the wicked. There is nowhere anyone is going to hide to. There's nowhere anyone is going to run to. This disease, this virus has come to stay, and it is definitely coming to show to them that there is nowhere for them to run to. Now, they all ran away from their duty post. They will never, accept and allow themselves to be screened. They would only prefer to, muscle on the rest of the people by acting like they are higher and greater than the rest of the citizens of the country. What a shame. This is terrible. They are thoughtless and they have nothing to offer anybody. They are lawless people and they care less about anyone. They are simply an uncoordinated bunch. In another sense, their systemic thinking is quite reflective of our attitude to planning in these parts. We do not often think of issues through in their complexity, and we have not learned to build social systems. We've not learned to understand how things work and processes that are overlaid, such as the result in one area will generate a roborant effect on another. As a society, we tend to react to multiple issues as if they are disparate, without that sense of how one thing connects to another to produce a chain reaction. We keep trying to put out endless fires. That attitude has underprepared us to fight a virus whose mode of transmission operates, unfortunately, systemically. In all of this development, there is the temptation by ordinary Nigerians towards either schadenfreude or sentimentality. On one side are already those who, having been long resentful of the cluelessness and the gross selfishness of these wicked leaders, they see it as God don't catch them moment. And I wouldn't fault them. I wouldn't fault many of them that are thinking alongside this line. I wouldn't fault many of them who think in such manner as these wicked leaders have been, on about their evil for a long time. Those people who will celebrate the misfortune of our leaders are probably may even wish them dead, as much as I understand the tendency to gloat at the misfortune of the powerful as a release valve for the disenfranchised. I think that reaction is useless. Sickness is not punitive. It is one of the many realities of existence. No matter what we will like to believe, our bodies are not fearfully and wonderfully made. They can be easily torn apart by vicissitudes of nature. Every human body was made to be eventually destroyed. Simple. Death itself is no punishment. It's a cure for a terminal disease called life. As such, I find the celebration of someone's sickness and death an inclination of the emotionally unintelligent or people that have been disenfranchised for a long time. On the other side are Nigerians who are given to public pretensions of virtue and who must signal it to look like better humans than the rest of us. Those are the ones who will emotionally blackmail those of us who insist on being clear-headed about these issues. Pray for our leaders. Those ones need to be reminded that the lives of Abba, Kyari, Abubakar, Mohammed, and other members of their coterie who have been infected or will be infected are not worth more than those of other Nigerians who die every day. When 20 Nigerians died in Abule Ado 2 weeks ago, how many of our leaders threw a whipping cloth on their hands? How many of them prayed? How many of them were proactive? How many of them rent their clothes in anguish? Those who are infected with the virus of sentimentality had better dry up their eyes right away and get serious. These people care less about us. They care less about nobody. They only care for themselves. If there is anything we should be concerned about at the moment, it is about those of us who are not close to power and privilege plan to survive in this unfortunate event of being infected. Those leaders are being flown from Abuja to Lagos to receive treatment will likely get priority care over those whose only source of power is their God in heavens. This means unless you are feeding in the same trough with the rich, the powerful, you are about to be twice robbed. You will not be taken care of in the hospital, and I kept repeating it. The same leaders who undervalued millions of Nigerian lives and left them to die in an underfunded hospitals are about to outbid you in the forthcoming competition for the limited healthcare resources. Yesterday, we heard that two of the only working ventilator, the medical ventilator, respiratory ventilator, 2 of them in Gwagwalada was quickly taken down to where? Abuja. And where? FCT. Where in that FCT? Aso Rock. And where in Aso Rock? Aso Rock Villa. So what does that tell you? It means that if you need that ventilator, you will not get access to it. It's time for us to wake up. Don't jump towards 2023. Don't say it has gone. Don't have a short memory. Begin to understand that you are nobody in that country unless you decide to rise up and make yourself somebody. These people are not much. They are old people, weak, but they've made themselves strong due to your ignorance. The viruses in power are spreading, and it might spread down to you, the masses. Anyway, that's what it is for now. If you're not a member of this channel, let's grow together by you tapping on the subscription button and the red notification icon bell. It will alert you whenever videos such as this are uploaded. Thanks for stopping by.